Hey, good morning. I'm Paige Browning. It's Tuesday. This is Seattle Now. After more than a decade, the Seattle Seahawks are returning to the Super Bowl, and they're going to get the chance to exorcise some demons when they play the New England Patriots. Coming up, we'll talk with Seattle Now senior producer Andy Hurst about the Seahawks' stunning season and what this means for the city. But first, let's get you caught up. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson and Attorney General Nick Brown say that while they cannot stop ICE operations, they will be ready to act if rights are violated. They're among numerous Washington state lawmakers calling to rein in the Department of Homeland Security. King County Council member Teresa Mosqueda wants Congress to put guardrails on the department before giving it any more funding. The county council is considering sending a motion to Washington's congressional delegation asking for guardrails around ICE performing warrantless arrests, wearing masks while on duty, racial profiling by federal officers, and ending for-profit detention centers. To lawmaking, several Seattle grocery stores were shuttered in the last year, some with almost no notice. Today at 10:30, there's a public hearing in the Washington legislature to fix that. Senate Bill 6147 would require grocers and food deserts to give at least 6 months' notice before closing. Grocers would also have to do community engagement and could not stop another grocery store from replacing them. And there's a new free courtyard to enjoy in Seattle. The Pacific Science Center's courtyard is now open to the public, and it's got a lot for us science and engineering nerds. There's a water wheel, water cannons, and a pollinator path. Previously, it was only open to PacSci ticket holders. This realigns the space with its original 1962 World's Fair purpose of public reflection. The gates will come down over the next couple months, and you can enter during museum hours Wednesday through Sunday. Check back for more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now.
Desperation for Stafford. 8 seconds left. Loading up near side Nakua. Is he out of bounds?
Oh, my God.
With 3 seconds. They're going to run the clock. That's going to do it. The Seahawks soar to Super Bowl 60.
The Seattle Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl.
NFC champion! We're going back to Cali in 2 weeks. I'll tell you what. How about our quarterback?
There's head coach Mike McDonald in the locker room after the thriller Sunday night when they squeezed past the Rams in the NFC Championship game to return to their first Super Bowl in more than a decade. Final score 31-27. Super Bowl 60 will be the Seahawks versus the New England Patriots on February 8th with a halftime performance by Bad Bunny. Seattle Now senior producer Andy Hurst is here to talk about this rematch game and what storylines to follow. Hey, Andy, thanks for being here.
Never been happier to be here than I am right now.
I bet. How are you feeling?
We did it. By we, I mean I wasn't playing in the game or anything.
You're part of the 12.
But, you know, as an invested fan, as someone who has been following this team my whole life and has not experienced a ton of championship success in this town over those years, this is so awesome. I'm so excited for this team. They're so likable, so many redemption arcs to follow. It's awesome.
And I just heard last night their quarterback, Sam Darnold, is a bird watcher as well. So yes, lots of little storylines to follow. This is the team's first Super Bowl appearance since 2015, the 2014 season. How'd they get so far?
First thing to know, they were not expected to be this good. They had a ton of roster turnover in the offseason. They brought in a completely new quarterback, which is a big change. Yeah, Sam Darnold, brand new quarterback. He had a very good season last year with the Minnesota Vikings, but up until last year, he had a really bumpy career. He was a top draft pick in 2018. He never lived up to expectations. He was kind of seen as a bust in the NFL.
Ooh, we thought we were getting a lemon.
Yeah, these like highly drafted guys that never really pan out. He bounced around the league as a backup for several years, and a lot of people, including myself, I'll admit it, did not think he would have this kind of success. He's not a flawless player. He still throws too many interceptions, maybe turns the ball over a little too much, but he has been quite good. He's led his team to the Super Bowl. And I will say, Sunday was the best game of his career, hands down.
No interceptions, right?
No interceptions, 3 touchdowns. Given the stakes, he was incredible.
And this is going to be a rematch February 8th. The Hawks and the Pats played in Super Bowl 49 for the 2014 season. Remind us what happened last time.
Do I have to?
Help us out, Andy.
Okay.
Just this once.
A brief history. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl in 2014. That was the 2013 season. They blew out the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
They returned to the Super Bowl the following year, looking to sort of build a dynasty and win back-to-back championships, which is really hard to do. With 26 seconds left in the fourth quarter, the Seahawks were 1 yard away from winning, and then this happened.
Play clock at 5. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal.
Instead of running the ball, which everyone expected them to do, fans,
I
coaches,
even expected them to do, and I know nothing.
the coaching staff called a pass play. Russell Wilson was intercepted. It remains to this day the most crushing defeat in Seattle sports history, in my opinion. And honestly, probably the most crushing loss in Super Bowl history. I cannot think of a worse loss that came with that little time left when your team was on the verge of winning a second title.
Building
it
that
was
dynasty.
Terrible.
Oh, that tastes bad. But we get a chance to rewrite the record here against the Patriots. Andy, I'm kind of wondering, who will the rest of the country be rooting for? You know, how do other teams' fans look at this game?
I don't have data in front of me to prove this, but I really think America is going to be rooting for Seattle. The Patriots have sort of been the evil empire for a long time, right? The Patriots, starting in the early 2000s, won 6 Super Bowls. One of them,
That's too many.
as I just mentioned, against Seattle. They were a true dynasty. Now, Tom Brady has retired. It's not the same team. It's not even the same coach. But I think America sees the Patriots back in the Super Bowl and just says, this will not stand. This cannot happen again. They've had too much success in Boston. So I do get the sense that America is going to root for the Seahawks, in part because Sam Darnold is such a good story.
Yes.
It's a total redemption arc story. So that's what I think is going to happen.
And people love that underdog. We're America's team this year, right?
Yep.
You and I are going with that at least. How do the Seahawks match up against New England?
Just the idea of playing the Patriots makes me a little anxious, if I'm being honest. I do think Seattle is the better team. Both the Seahawks and Patriots won 14 games in the regular season.
Okay.
But here's the thing. The Patriots played a very easy schedule.
Oh, so that says a lot about their wins.
Yeah, they play in kind of a weaker division. They were a last place team last year, so they get the benefit of an easier schedule. The Seahawks really had to play a lot of tough teams to get here. They're more battle tested. The Patriots kind of coasted a little bit to this. Think about how lucky this is. In the AFC Championship game on Sunday, the Patriots played the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Broncos just lost their starting quarterback to a season-ending injury.
Right.
The Patriots basically got to play a backup quarterback in the conference championship, which is unheard of. I've never seen that happen
That
before.
is wild. Yeah, they didn't even play the starting quarterback last weekend.
No, but the Patriots cannot be taken lightly. They are a good team. And they have a really good quarterback named Drake May. He's in his second season. He's in the running for MVP this year. He was amazing. He will be the second youngest quarterback to ever start in the Super Bowl. So that could be an edge for Seattle going against this very young player who has never played in a game of that sort of magnitude.
So the Patriots, they're nothing to blink at. They're going to bring a force. Who actually looks favored to win?
The Seahawks are the favorite. If you ask the experts, these are the odds makers in Vegas that set the betting lines. The Seahawks are a 4.5 point favorite as of taping time Monday.
That sounds pretty good.
So the Seahawks are the team to beat.
Okay, I like the betting odds. I'm not going to bet, but I like the odds. This looks really good for us. But where is our weak spot?
Sometimes the Seahawks offense can kind of go to sleep a little bit. They'll have these stretches in games where the running game isn't working. The quarterback is taking sacks. They're not moving the ball down the field. They're not consistently doing that, but they have stretches where they have a tough time moving the ball.
Oh, boy.
That is a weakness. This didn't happen on Sunday.
No.
They were full throttle.
3 touchdowns. But this is when we're yelling at the TV going, wake up.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't know that much about Seattle's coach, Mike Macdonald. How is he playing into their success?
So just 2 years ago, Pete Carroll was let go by the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. Carroll was the oldest coach in the NFL. He had led the team for well over a decade. Macdonald isn't a rah-rah guy running up and down the field, chomping on gum the way that Pete
Yes.
Carroll did. But he seems to have threaded this needle between being a great leader and also a great football tactician.
A football tactician. What does that mean for how they play?
The Seahawks defense this year has been really good. And part of that success is due to Mike Macdonald calling the defensive plays. He's the head coach, but he's also telling the defense, here's where we're going to line up. Here's your assignment on this play. As Jerry Brewer told us a few weeks ago on this very show, the Seahawks defense blurs the picture for opposing quarterbacks. They're very smart, and they play a type of scheme that not many teams have been able to figure out so far.
And we just had a huge run as a team, and now would you say that we're sort of ending the season on our rivals' playground? We're about to go from Seattle, where we just had 2 games, to California.
The Seahawks just went on this incredible run of vanquishing their rivals. They have a chance to vanquish an even bigger beast in the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But just a few weeks ago, they beat the Rams in a stunning overtime victory here in Seattle. They beat the San Francisco 49ers in the final game of the regular season to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That was huge. And then over the last 2 weeks in the playoffs, they pummeled the 49ers and they edged out the Rams on Sunday. Total dominance over their division rivals. In their post-game ceremony on the field after the game on Sunday, Mike Macdonald, he was kind of prodded about, how did your team get here? You weren't expected to be as competitive with the Rams and the Niners.
Pummeling all these rivals.
Yet you beat them to get here to the Super Bowl. Here's Fox Sports broadcaster Michael Strahan asking him that question.
Now, coming into the season, you were an afterthought to the Rams, to the 49ers. How did it feel to go through both of those teams to earn your trip to the Super Bowl?
We did not care. It's about us. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl.
All right. Coach McDonald, congratulations.
And here's the best part of all this, Paige. The Super Bowl is being played this year in Santa Clara, California.
Yep.
Home of the 49ers. So if the Seahawks do win, they will do it on their rival's home field. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's some sweetness for the Hawks going into this. Andy, I know what it's like being a Mariners fan, waiting for that first World Series still. I know what it's like to be a Storm fan with 4 championship trophies on the shelf. We know that they've got a solid history. For the Seahawks, this is going to be their 4th Super Bowl appearance. What would a win mean for the fans?
I'm sort of thinking of this as the start of something. Seattle is one of the youngest teams in the NFL, and yet here they are in the Super Bowl. That's a pretty good sign that you're sort of building towards more success in the future. After going to back-to-back Super Bowls more than a decade ago, Seattle had kind of started to spin their wheels under Pete Carroll. They would frequently make the playoffs, but they never went anywhere. They would often lose in the first round. I think fans started to kind of lower their expectations, and they really never seemed like a true Super Bowl contender. Something switched this year. If you look at the crowd noise in the stadium, there were way fewer opposing fans buying tickets and coming into Lumen Field. Seahawks fans were
part of the team strategy.
Yeah,
to keep people out.
Local fans were snapping up those tickets, filling the stands, and the fan base has been like re-energized by this current team. There's something really special that's connecting fans to this current team right now.
Yeah, apparently Lumen Field was an uproar of noise on Sunday. I didn't get to go, but it was super loud. You could probably hear it from downtown. But not everyone is a Seahawks fan. Not everyone cares about the NFL. So what's in it for us who might not be following the Hawks through the season?
There is something intangible about a city kind of pulling together for their team. I felt it this summer and this fall with the Mariners. Mm-hmm. It was like Mariners fever had kind of swept over the city. I kind of feel like that's happened with the Seahawks team, especially now that they're going to the Super Bowl. People in my life that don't follow the team are talking to me about it. Random people wearing jerseys, and you can just strike up a conversation. You know, this is a tough time right now. The news cycle is rough. It's unrelenting. And I think if anything, sports can be a way to channel some joy and excitement.
And city pride.
Yeah, and experience it with your friends and community. And I think it's a really positive thing to do.
Yeah, well, it's certainly gotten me to tune into the game, watch with friends, text my mom. I know our editor heard in yoga class, namaste and go Seahawks.
I love it.
So there's your community connection. Andy Hurst, senior producer of Seattle Now. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Paige.
Thanks for listening to Seattle Now, and thank you so much to our generous donors for the support you give the show. You can give Seattle Now a boost by clicking the link in the show notes or by following and rating the show on your podcast app. Today's episode was produced by Andy Hurst. It was edited by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez. Our production team also includes Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, Vaughn Jones, and Patricia Murphy. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Paige Browning. See you tonight for Evening Headlines.